Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to discuss a very basic but very important concept in writing, that is paragraph. Let me ask you a quick question. When you write something, how do you make your ideas clear and easy to follow? I mean, in essay. The answer is by organizing them into paragraphs. But when you write a paragraph, how do you organize your sentences? It means you have to organize them in a proper structure in order to give a clear concept to the readers. So, a paragraph is the most basic definition of a paragraph is a group of sentences that deals with one main idea. So, in simple words, we can say one paragraph should focus only on one idea and not more than one. If you try to include too many ideas in one paragraph, the reader becomes confused. So you have to, by all means, you have to stick to one idea while writing, composing a paragraph. That is the basic rule. Only then you will achieve unity in a paragraph. Many of the elements in longer pieces of writing, such as essays, are found in paragraph as well. Thus, the paragraph is a good model to use before learning to write essays. If you do not understand the technique of writing a standard, good, structured paragraph, you will never be able to understand writing essays as well. So, a paragraph is a group of sentences concerned with developing or expressing a single topic, one main idea. In fact, when what you are reading right now, for example, I mean what you are listening, or what I'm going to discuss, or for example, if you read something, uh, if you focus on one paragraph, you will gain a clear concept of one idea, because a paragraph is always focused on developing the concept of one idea. Generally, paragraphs can be as long as you want them to be, although most are usually 4 to 15 sentences in length. The key to writing a good paragraph is to make it long enough to develop the topic but not longer. Sometimes people say that the length of a paragraph should always be from 200 sentences to 300 sentences. So, a paragraph, the length of a paragraph, there are differences. Some grammarians say that the length of a paragraph should be from 14 to 15 sentences in length, and some grammarians focus on they say that it must contain at least 200, from 200 sentences to 300 sentences, or 200 words to 300 words, depending. uh, but the main cornerstone, the main basic line of the length of a paragraph is what? That it should always completely discuss one idea, no matter what the length is. Now, coming down to the part of paragraph, there are two basic types of sentences in a paragraph. These two types of sentences in a paragraph are also known as uh, the parts of a paragraph. But according to some grammarians, they say that there are three parts of a paragraph. One is the topic sentence, the second one is the supporting sentences, and the third one is the concluding sentence. But in my lecture, I'm focusing on two parts. You can disagree with me. You can take help from other, books or sites, or ChatGPT or AI, whatever. You can also take help from Google if you have any other source. And if you write in your papers three parts of a paragraph, that is also perfectly okay. But my lecture is focusing only on two parts. The first part is the topic sentence, and the second part is the supporting sentences. The supporting sentences are also known as the supporting details. The topic sentence and the supporting sentences are the two main parts. So this is understood. The topic sentence tells what the main idea or topic of the paragraph is, although there is no set place in the paragraph for the topic sentence, making the topic sentence the first sentence in the paragraph will make you capable of organizing and developing the topic easier. The topic sentence is followed by supporting sentences that explain, clarify, support, and define the topic by using specific details. Supporting sentences should demonstrate clearly a variety of styles. Variety of styles refers to the use of different sentences to show, the a variety, show the flavor, because it makes the paragraph more interesting, more attractive, more engaging, because it gives information in the form of a variety of sentences, and it also creates rhythm, a kind of musical quality to to the supporting sentences. The supporting sentence should always follow the topic sentence and develop the subject using specific examples, details, facts, and figures. These supporting ideas must be consistent with controlling ideas. In other words, the controlling ideas, they unify the paragraph by determining the kind of support ideas you use in the supporting sentences. Now, coming down to the features or the characteristics of a good standard paragraph, the first and the foremost and the most important quality of a good paragraph is unity. It is also known as paragraph unity. In simple words, unity means all sentences in a paragraph must stay connected to the same idea. If your topic is reading, you should not suddenly talk about something unrelated. For example, you should never talk about coffee or any other thing. The topic sentence in a body paragraph announces the subject of the paragraph. It also announces the attitude of the writer toward the subject, and it also contains the controlling idea by which the subject will be discussed. Therefore, all supporting sentences in the body paragraph should explain, clarify, and directly relate to the topic sentence. This is called paragraph unity. The prefix uni means one, so unity means that all the information in your body paragraph should act as one unit to help the reader understand what you are telling him or her about the subject. Now, the second most important quality of paragraph is coherence. It is also known as paragraph coherence. Another, it is usually defined as coherence means your ideas should flow smoothly. Uh, Along with unity, paragraphs should demonstrate paragraph coherence. Now, listen to the main thing about coherence. Coherent, in order to understand coherence, you can relate it to the word adhere. As the word adhere means for things to stick together, cohere means for a paragraph that the elements in the paragraph should stick together. For your paragraphs to show coherence, there are five elements that in fact sorry there are four elements that you should keep in mind while achieving the coherence in your paragraph. The four things that are more for a paragraph to show coherence are lexical order of events, transitional expressions, key concept repetitions, substituting pronouns for nouns. Now, what does it mean? These are in fact tools and which act like nuts and bolts used to connect two or three or four or whatever you know uh, ideas in a paragraph. The first thing in order to achieve coherence in a paragraph is logical order of sorry I'm sorry you should, in order to achieve coherence in a paragraph, you should focus on three things. One is time order, the second one is the space order, and the third one is the order of ideas. Time order is helpful to order or organize the ideas in your paragraph with a sense of time. Time is important. Keep this in mind. In all our lives, we have many, you know, events and happenings, and we have a very strict timetable to follow, and we follow all our time, events or happenings of life according to a specific time. That is why we have watches and clocks and mobile phones, and they keep us track of time, to keep us aware of the time, because the events in our lives are connected to time. When we eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner, when we work out at the gym, when we do homework, when we play with our friends, when we go to the mosque, even when it is time to sleep, we take a break from time. The second important thing in order to achieve coherence in a paragraph is the space order. Space here means, time means, in Urdu means zaman. Zaman means zamana, zamana means waqt. And space in this context means makan, zama or makan, zaman or makan. Makan means place. So space order refers to the place where something happens. Sometimes the physical space in which the events are unfolding or happening is important and should be emphasized. Depending on the kind of space you are describing, you can move from one place, from the one corner to the other, from the top to the bottom, from the left to the right, inside to the outside, or any appropriate direction. Consider the following paragraph. You can write a paragraph, and in that paragraph you can focus on the space. The third important thing in order to achieve coherence in the paragraph is the order of ideas. Now, if you explain something basic to your little kid, or to your siblings, you have to explain things in a proper sequence. If you destroy the sequence, the kid or the child will never be able to understand. So in order to make them understand, you have to you know create a kind of sequence. This kind of sequence is known as the order of ideas, and it is also very important to establish the order of ideas in a paragraph as well. The ordering of the steps in a paragraph, if it is not logical, then the reader would not be able to understand the main idea. So it is important to stick to this rule as well. The order of ideas, if the order of the ideas is logical, then it will demonstrate a step-by-step order of events that will mean success for your reader. As a writer, it is your responsibility. As a writer of the paragraph, it is your responsibility to order the ideas in your paragraphs for the maximum clarity. Maximum clarity achieved through the order of events, through the order of time, through the order of space. Uh, it is also your responsibility to order the ideas in your paragraphs for the maximum clarity, because it is important for your readers to understand the information in a sequential manner. The third important thing, I'm sorry, the second important thing is transitional expressions. Transitional expressions, in simple words, means that while writing a paragraph, you move from one idea or event to another in a paragraph. It is helpful for the reader if you link these ideas in events with transitional expressions. You may have already heard of these transitional devices. They are also known as transitional expressions, or transitional devices mean the same thing. They are sometimes labeled as coordinating conjunctions, sometimes they are labeled or termed or named as adverbial conjunctions, sometimes they are used, known as or termed as, defined as introductory words, and sometimes they are also known as subordinating conjunctions. For example, if you are writing a paragraph and you want to use transitional devices or expressions, and you want to have a clear sense. For example, if in your writing you want to show the result of an event, you should take help from the words such as because, therefore, thus, as a result of this, and consequently. I did not work hard. For example, I did not work hard, so, or because I was ill. This is, the because word is working as a transitional device. It is connecting the result with the result with my inability to study or whatever. If you are showing comparison in your paragraph, you can use words like similarly, likewise, in comparison. If you are showing contrast, you can use words like but, however, although, in contrast, otherwise. If you are giving examples, you can use words, for example, for instance, namely. If you are showing sequence or order in your paragraph, you can use the words of transitional devices like first, second, next, then, also, finally, lastly, and further more. Transitional expressions or devices help us connect ideas and make writing clear and smooth. The third important thing in order to achieve coherence in a paragraph is key concept repetition. Sometimes it is important, especially in essays. While writing essays, you have to repeat certain ideas because essays contain so many ideas, so many paragraphs. So sometimes the readers get lost of the time. They forget the topic or the main theme. So they may have problem in understanding the thing because they cannot connect themselves with the topic. So for that, you should take help from repetition to some extent. You can repeat certain expressions or certain words in order to make your readers connected with the main theme or the topic. The fourth and the most important quality for achieving coherence in a paragraph is substituting pronouns for nouns. Now, how do we use pronouns for nouns? In the definition of pronoun, we define pronouns as words which are used in place of nouns. No, why do we use pronouns in place of nouns? When we define pronouns, we say that pronouns are used in place of nouns because we want to avoid repetition. But this repetition, the key concept repetition, is way different from the repetition of nouns. When you repeat nouns again and again, it creates two bad things. One, it creates monotony, and the second thing that it creates is boredom. It becomes boring for the readers to pronounce or to read the nouns again and again. So in order to avoid monotony and boredom in your writing, you should always substitute pronouns, proper pronouns, for the key nouns. Now coming down to the third important quality of a paragraph is cohesion. Paragraph cohesion. Paragraph cohesion is the grammatical and lexical linking within a text that holds sentences together, ensuring a smooth, logical flow of ideas. It connects supporting sentences to a central topic sentence, creating a unified paragraph. Key techniques including using transition signals, pronoun references, and repeating keywords to guide the reader. Now, how do we achieve cohesion in a paragraph? We use cohesive devices. We use lexical devices. We use reference words. We use logical sequence, and we use substitution and ellipsis. Now, listen to this. These are 5 things. Cohesive devices are also known as connectors, words that show relationship between ideas, such as however, therefore, furthermore. Lexical cohesion means repeating key terms or using synonyms to maintain focus on the topic. Using pronouns, for example, he or she or it or they or whatever, demonstrates the same. It refers back to the previously mentioned nouns, avoiding unnecessary repetition. Logical sequence means arranging sentences in a logical order, often moving from the familiar to the the new information. Substitution and ellipsis means replacing words with synonyms or omitting redundant words. Redundant means the words that you use again and again to make sentences more concise and more attractive and impressive. You might get confused in these two qualities of a paragraph, coherence and cohesion. But keep in mind, uh, there is a difference. Cohesion differs from coherence. How? Because coherence is the overall logical flow and conceptual clarity of the paragraph, while cohesion focuses on the explicit technical or grammatical connections. It means coherence is connected with the ideas, the connectivity, the logical connectivity of ideas. And cohesion refers to the logical or the not logical, the grammatical connectivity of ideas. When you grammatically connect ideas, it means you are achieving cohesion. When you logically connect ideas, it means you are achieving coherence. Thank you so much for listening to this lecture. I might have, faced difficulty delivering this lecture because it is too late, and I hope you learn something from this lecture. And I also have this desire to explain these things again in the classes to you. So there is no worries, there is no tension. If you find something difficult, if you fail to understand a certain idea or a certain topic in this lecture, please let me know through your comments in the comment section. You can also write your questions on a piece of paper and bring those questions to the classes. I'll answer the questions, I'll explain these things again and again. Thank you so much, and I wish you get success in life. Assalamu alaikum.